To his name. Please pass this to your wife. Thank you very much for your letters. I found them very inspiring but somewhat misled. Your letter seems concerned that I wanted some kind of future with you or your husband, but please be assured that I, personally, do not want to be in yours or your husband's life in any way after the way he treated me at the end of our relationship. However, in our country it is a legal requirement for unnamed mothers to name the father of their child so that the father can help towards the financial responsibilities of the child that they made together. So in this case, I feel that you should know that I have already submitted the child maintenance forms. As the forms were sent 10 days ago, I would not like for you to see this as a response to your letter, as I only received your letters this morning. I would like to take this opportunity to apologise to you for the unintentional harm that I have caused you and your children, and I feel sorry for you, as judging by your explanation of your relationship with your husband, he has obviously lied to you too, as much as he did to me. Lastly, there are a million things I could write in reply to the spiteful and patronising remarks you made about myself and my family, but I will not lower myself to your apparent standards, as my belief in spirituality allows me to remain calm and not become as hostile and unpleasant as you have. As I found the tone of your letters to be completely dismissing, please do not contact me again in such a manner. Once your husband has been contacted by the Child Support Agency, they will require him to contact them directly, leaving there no need for us to communicate. I did have an appointment with a solicitor who at this moment in time I cannot remember how they went, but going by the paperwork, she instructed me to go to the police and file the letters as harassment. Unfortunately, the police did not feel the same and told me to wait for anything else to come through. By this time, I had seen both these people in their true lights, and it wasn't pretty or blinding. It was as disheartening and as cringy as that letter I sent the guy. The solicitor had drafted letters to send to both this guy and his wife, and had given me a detailed structure of how things could go should I want to continue down this path. After careful consideration, I decided to place it on hold. Their threats and financial stability were just too much of a risk, and even though disregarding a child would apparently be easy for them, I was not prepared to pass my child around and forget he existed, and if I had to take time out to decide which parent is best suited to him, the one on a fast track to hell wasn't going to be it. After they received the forms for child maintenance, I was blessed with yet another letter. Delivered 30th of December 2008, typed again, and signed by no one. My name. Please read the following well and think carefully about the implications, then decide whether you are willing to go through with it. Depending on the outcome of the DNA test, this child is either ours all the way or not at all. We don't pay for other people to look after our children, therefore we shall need to take care of him as much as possible. If you don't agree to let us adopt him, we shall need him to live with us 50% of the time. This will mean every other week we shall collect him in the morning and take him back to you on the morning of the 8th day. We believe this is the least disruptive for a child at this age, as opposed to swapping home every half week or a month at a time. When he is older, it may need to change, maybe even to 6 months per year with us, depending on the child. You can either sign an agreement of parental responsibility willingly, or we will apply for it through the courts. My husband and I are one again after his spell of getting lost in the world. Any child of his is just as much mine. Be sure that I shall treat the child as one of my own and as a person with an eternal soul who desperately needs a saviour. We are sensitive to the fact we cannot suddenly take a baby away from the only mother he knows for a week at a time. We propose to start getting to know him and for him to get to know us by taking him for half a day every Sunday afternoon, increasing steadily to a full day, then 2 days, Saturdays and Sundays, and then sleeping over more and more until he is okay with us for a week every fortnight. Since my husband is working long hours during the week, it does not make sense to start with weekdays. We need to start doing this as soon as possible and are waiting for your reply. The older the child gets, the more difficult it will be for him. Keep in mind what we can offer him that you can't, e.g. a normal family life with a mum and dad present and involved and dedicated to each other and their children. What happened between you and my husband was a slip of the foot. If we hadn't been in a godless country, or if you hadn't offered him the opportunity to see what another woman is like, it would never have happened, and it most definitely will never happen again. Please consider all of this carefully, but urgently. After reading this and being sickened to the stomach again by these people, the thought of her ever touching my child or attempting to influence his pure little mind made me cancel the child maintenance claim. Knowing what I knew about her husband, and if any of it were true, what I was made to understand about her, they were not taking my child to wrap him in the sordid world they lived in. I did not have this written, but at some point they told me they would take him to Africa and I would never see him again. I looked into all options, including getting us all passports, and researching which countries do not get involved with disputes from abroad. I was willing to do whatever it took to avoid their filthy hands touching my baby. This was my reply, handwritten and signed. For attention of his wife's name. After receiving your letter on the 29th of December 2008, I did indeed give it careful consideration, and I agreed it is not viable for you to pay for someone else to look after your child. However, my child is not your child. It is a child created by myself and his name, and has nothing biologically to do with you. You were not there, nor considered while this child was conceived, and you have no legal say over my child. However, upon contacting the CSA, they explained to me that a change in the law allows me to cancel the claim, causing no change to my circumstances, so I went ahead and cancelled it. My and your agendas are apparently very different, yours being greed, judgment over innocent children, condemnation, and acceptance of unlawful and morally corrupt behaviour from your husband. You need not tell me you are at one with him. It is neither my business nor of any interest. My agenda simply is what is best for my children. With this in mind, I also cancelled the claim for child support. His name took advantage of me for the last 6 years, which included a low point in my life at name of previous vet practice, name of the first place he owned, and the name of the second practice he owns, and in your marital family home. His name changed from gentle to monstrous, causing me to be very afraid of him. I now see that his motives were evil from the start to finish, and I have no idea what else he is capable of. What has happened to me has been very painful for me to comprehend, and I am only now beginning to express what has happened. I will, however, be keeping all of this from my children, and for this reason I will not be informing my child what his name is capable of, or indeed that they are even related. Also, in respect to your letter, I am proud of your godless country, but I am very surprised that you are happy to accept our godless money. Should this country be such a disappointment for you, maybe you should consider going home. I do feel, however, that his name entered our country to prey on vulnerable women, and I fell for it, becoming one of his victims. I could tell you every morbid detail, but I am kinder and bigger person and will not subject you to it. I expect you are happy I have cancelled the claim for child support, and you are happy that I need never hear from his name again. But should you need to contact me, I am making it very clear that receiving correspondence from you is unneeded, unrelated, and causes me to feel incredibly harassed. I will only ever take notice of letters that are signed and written by his name himself. Once again, I am severing any connection I had with his name and need not contact each other again. I would like to add that my family, myself, or my perfect children will never be in need of a saviour. Because of the tone of these letters and the insistent need to take my child, I decided to contact the RCVS, the Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons, in January 2009 to ask for advice. They stated it would need to be carefully reviewed as they have a set time frame of when complaints can be submitted. I again considered my options. I never waited for letters from this guy. It just never occurred to me to ever do that. To me, we were over long ago, and all that was left was a residue of his slug slime as he squirmed away from what he had created, and I was coping. So it was weird when I received a tiny letter on vet-headed notepaper asking me to meet him at his new surgery on the 7th of the 8th, 2010. Just me and him, alone, as he wanted to make peace with me. He wanted to bury the hatchet. Meet at the new surgery, do not write to him. If I need to call him, do not leave a name, but he needs some sort of solution or closure. Admittedly, I was intrigued. What did he mean by bury the hatchet? Had he found a conscience? I was still in the midst of self-delusion, and my fragments were still lost, scattered around my childhood somewhere, so off I went. I arrived and cannot remember if we spoke about his wife, or even if I asked where she was. I don't even remember the conversation, but what I do remember is him pushing me up against the wall and him telling me he had missed me. I was frozen. He kissed me too hard to enjoy and pushed his hand hard into my crotch, I think expecting me to fall to my knees and repeat the first time together. But I hadn't come alone like instructed, and he knew that. My mother was wandering around outside somewhere, and Antflo was the saviour in my pants. I can't, I tried to get out from around his lips. It's fine, he replied, and held tighter, pushing his mouth harder onto mine like we both wanted this. We won't be long, he told me as his hands were all over me and his hot panting breath stealing mine. We won't be long? Is that supposed to be a good thing? Wow, embarrassing. I thought you wanted to sort this out, I tried to ask as he attempted to unbutton my jeans while I held onto the button with now both hands. I want you, was what he said, and I attempted again to push him off. I can't do this, I said firmer. Not once did he ask about the child I had at home. Not once did he ask if this was okay. Not once did he consider anyone other than the dick he was desperately trying to get out and satisfy. Then he got annoyed. Frustration oozed out of his pores like heat off an old metal slide in summer. This wasn't why I had come here. This wasn't what I expected. Even though I hadn't known what to expect, this just wasn't it. And again, my opinion of this guy plummeted even lower. I felt for the toddler at home that this was the person he was supposed to look up to. This was supposed to be the man in his life that he respected and learnt from. And this man stood in front of me, who expected me to turn up and drop my knickers in some dog hydrotherapy shed while my mother was outside, was simply a disappointment. And looking at him now, I was glad he chose his wife. What a mess this guy was, and what an utter clown he was in the eyes of his God. I left and gathered my gratitude that he hadn't got his dirty way with me again. I was not his dirty little secret anymore. I then received this. I know. It's disastrously long and boring, but living rent-free in someone else's mind means I'm memorable, if nothing else. A letter of perspective, 22nd of February 2011. My name. I have been given my situation a good deal of thought. I have 4 issues that need addressing. First of all, my wife. Second, my children. Third, you. And lastly, your son. I came to realise that the most important person in my life, namely is my wife, is actually the only one I am indebted to. You and I have campaigned against her to steal away her security in her marriage. We have robbed her while she trusted me. We took away what was most precious to her, namely the protected sanctuary of her intimate marriage bed. You and I have defiled what was holy and pure in every aspect of our marriage. For that, you cannot and will never escape your share of the carnage. I hold you fully responsible for your acts. You have proposed to steal another woman's husband, which resulted in an illegitimate child being born outside of wedlock and family security. I was confused as to where my responsibilities lay. I felt sorry for you, seeing you as a victim and your son as an innocent bystander. I wanted to clear the air and ask for forgiveness, and that is why I asked to see you again. It ended up in a passionate kiss farewell, indicating that my motives were not pure, and it wasn't can't read this word as it is handwritten and preschool quality of that. I threw your tail number away after call something through, as I still could not find ultimate peace. Through circumstances, it dawned on me that the only person that can bring resolution is my wife. I came clean and told her everything about the meeting and telephone calls. She is the victim in all this, and not you. She is the only one that I need forgiveness from, not you. She is the one in pain, having to come to terms with betrayal, not you. I have never made any promises to you, but surely to her. As for your son, he shall have no father until you marry a husband and have a family. He is innocent, but you have tried stealing another woman's husband and father of 4 innocent children without feeling guilty at all. I have not heard you apologise like I did. The result is your son being without a father, and you will have to explain that to him one day. That is your price to pay. This is the price you pay. I have my price to pay, but that is not towards you or your son. No, it is towards my wife and my children. This is the correct order of things. With this letter, I want to make a final clean break with you, keep it and show it to your son so that he does not make the same mistake one day. Unsigned. I replied, 27th of February 2011, to his name. This is the reply to a letter that I am guessing is from you or your wife or someone in your sick little game, as your letter wasn't signed by anyone, but clearly was from you. I do not understand your letter at all. It does not make any sense or have any relevance. Let me be clear to you. You contacted me by letter to come secretly meet you. I turned up and clearly made it clear that I did not want you. You kissed me. Then over time you called me and called me and called me. I did not call you or write or want you or need you. My life has clearly moved on from you controlling me. Your life clearly has not moved on from wanting to control me. On the last phone call, you asked me to come over, not to see our son, but you asked me to come over for sex. I said no, you no longer had any hold over me. The guilt you mention is all yours, never was, is, or ever will be mine. You took advantage of me right from the start. You made me feel sorry for you about your horrific wife, your life, and you used my compassion to overcome and to take advantage. From my point of view, I cared for you, and my son, as you call him, but that's not what you said to my face or on the phone, was conceived by love, and I will not let your dirty actions reflect in his life at all. My son is perfect. I will be clear again. A long while ago, I contacted the Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons, and I informed them of what you have done to me and what I have been through. Now I have been subjected to an unnecessary and incorrect letter from you in such an aggressive manner, I feel I have no choice but to contact them again and inform them of your name and practice as to where this abuse of trust took place, and to place a formal complaint against you. I did not, nor do not, deserve you treating me this way. I am the innocent one. You are the one who wanted and used your wicked charm and lies to have sex with me behind your wife's back. That is not my problem, it is yours. I confirm I did not ask you to take advantage of me, and now I have received this ludicrous letter, I am not at all happy, and feel threatened that you will not let me get on with my life in peace. You have even tainted my home, which is mine and my children's safe haven, by visits you've paid me to my home. This is unacceptable. Do not come to my home again. My children and I have to feel safe here. You have desperately tried to lay all the blame on me when all I did was have genuine feelings for you. The blame does not lie with me and will not accept it. You took advantage of me. I have no carnage. You do. This is the last time I will bother to spell it out to you, that you are not welcome in my life. The next time you will hear from me, or about me, is through the complaints department of RCVS. I was starting to move on from what you have done to me, but your nasty and unnecessary letter has given me bad spiritual karma. Clearly signed from, with nothing to hide, my name. I don't really know what I meant by bad spiritual karma. He definitely did give me bad feelings and knocked me off course a bit, but I'll admit that was a weird thing to say.